Hello everybody, welcome to another Rick's Picks. Today I'm going to be doing my review of the G.I. Joe classified figure Crystal Ball by Hasbro. Now, I'll admit, I wasn't a real big fan of the original Crystal Ball figure, but when I saw this one, I thought he looked pretty cool, especially because they gave him a Cthulhu mask, and I'm a huge Lovecraft fan. So I'm really excited to see what they actually did with this figure, how they improved on him and whatnot. So, with that being said, roll that intro. Here he is in packaging. Now you pretty much got your standard classified packaging. So you have Cobra here, letting you know that he's part of Cobra. His name up top. Got the Cobra logo, G.I. Joe classified, choking hazards, age restriction, Hasbro. All right, you got a window here where you can see the figure, all his accessories. Come around this way. Now, this is some really cool art. I like this picture right here. I think this looks really neat. Him with the Cthulhu style mask. Got the crystal ball here with the glowing skull inside of it. I like this picture. This is a really, really cool picture. I love the overall look to this. Got G.I. Joe here. His number. All right. Bring it around this way. Get a nice picture of the figure. Some of his special details. You got your legal underneath. Come around here. You got his stats, your QR code, G.I. Joe, and his number. Spinning around this way. You got the Cobra logo, his number. And underneath, you got some more legal in his SKU. So, all that being said, let's open him up and see what he's about. So here he is out of packaging. He has a pretty good looking profile. I like the way he looks so far. So let's start getting into his points of articulation. So the head does move. You don't get too much head movement because the jacket kind of interferes with it. You got a shoulder joint, all right, with a swivel. You got an elbow joint, and you do have a wrist joint. Right, get this other arm up. You do have a joint here underneath the ribs. All right, it's a click joint, so that means it locks into place. You do have another joint at the hips. Actually, I'm sorry, that's, yeah, the hips. You got your thigh joint here with a swivel. All right, eventually you get a knee joint, a little bit tight, but it is there. The boot does swivel around. And then you get an ankle joint. Now, I'm noticing it's kind of a mixed bag with this guy. You got like some loose joints, and then you got some tight joints as well. So we'll see. That's pretty tight too. So we'll see how well all this plays out with this figure. So now we're going to start looking at some of his fine details. So first off, I want to take a good look at this head sculpt. I like this head sculpt. It looks really wicked. I like how, if you look around the eyes, it's almost like a mascara, but it looks more burnt into his face than like actual like makeup. And I'm not sure how well you can see it in the eyes. They have more of a demonic look to them. They're an orange with the center slit. Then you have the gray hair coming in. They got a little bit sloppy around the edge, but you know, it's an action figure. I'll give in to that. His teeth look very sharp, vampiric, demonic. So I do like that. And you have all the gray tufts of hair on this side as well as the top of his hair here. So I love the head sculpt to him. I think this head sculpt looks really neat. It has a monstrous, evil look to it that I really like, that I feel like it fits the character and what they're trying to do with him. So now let's move down into his lower, well, actually his torso here. So he has these necklaces here that I think would have done better if they would have used actual thread for them. instead of the vinyl because they kind of want to pop up. Now, underneath these two, there's some tattoos as well, some hidden tattoos, which is pretty neat. I like the design of his shirt. So when you open it up, you can see that there's a neat design to the shirt. Now, this jacket is a vinyl. It's not part of him. I think it would be neat if you could actually take the arms off and take this jacket off so you could have them without it. There may be a way to do that. That I'm not 100% sure. So then you get down into the legs and boots. Come around to this side. Let's lift this arm up. He has some buckles here and what have you that they gave some detail to, which is nice. He looks to have like either these are rings or some sort of brass knuckles. Now they're more like rings. So that's pretty cool. Bring this arm down. You got a tattoo here. You got his arm gauntlet here that has all sorts of neat designs to it, as well as his shoulder plate here. I like the design to that. Come around here. You got the back of his jacket. You got rips on the bottom. You got padding up top. All right, the same with this side. But now with this side, he has the tattoos up here. And then he has like a bird claw type gauntlet on his hand that looks really neat. I like that. And if you lift this arm up, you look in here, you see the holster for his pistol right under there and what have you. So overall, I really do like the look to this figure. Now let's start getting into his accessories. So first off, he has an alternate hand. So this is like an open hand, probably for the crystal ball, I'm guessing. Speaking of said crystal ball, here it is. I like the translucent. Oops, sorry. I like the translucent look on the outside. I just wish they would have added more detail to the skull because the skull doesn't pop in there. It looks like a green mass unless if you're really looking at it. You know, I would have liked to maybe had some like highlights to it or something that makes it look neat. Where now, for the most part, it just looks like a green glob inside a ball. So I would have liked to have seen a lot more detail in that skull. Next, you have his pistol. Right. So he has a revolver here with the time worm. Apparently, that's supposed to be a reference to the G.I.Joe movie where Globulus had the time worm on the spike. So that's what that's supposed to be a reference to. Next off, you have his sword, where it has his green glowing effect on it. Now, I do like the translucent look. The only problem I have with the translucent stuff is I wish they would have went with a glow with them. Now, I would have liked these a lot better if they would have had like a glow to them. So, like if you had them like in dark spaces, you know, it'd have a glow to it. I think it'd look a lot more evil and sinister, other than a translucent green. But it still looks pretty neat. Now, next you have his helmet here, which is obviously very Cthulhu-ish because of the tentacles in the front and even the fins on either side gives it that Cthulhu look. It also has these horns here that look really cool. Now, this actually isn't a helmet. It is an alternate head. So you're definitely going to have to do a head swap. Now, they say this is a living entity, like I guess like a symbiont or whatever, but still, yeah, I guess you could play with it however you want, whether you want it just to be a mask or a symbiont. It's up to you. Right. Next, you got the shield. Now, this is obviously from the original figure. Neat thing about this is, I don't know how well you're going to see it, that it has a hologram in here, so it does change shapes and movement. So that is pretty cool. All right. And then for the shield, you also have this translucent green piece that clips onto it. Matter of fact, we'll do that now. Somehow, some way. There you go. And you'll probably wind up having to use like maybe a little screwdriver or something to pop that off there, because I don't think that's going to come off very easily. But it does pop in there without any issues. So now let's see how well all this stuff works with them. So first off, let's do the pistol. All right. So we'll work that into the hand. Now, this claw makes it a little bit harder to hook the pistol in there. All right. Boom, but it does work. All right, get them back center. So the pistol will work in this hand with no issues. Now I'm going to try it in the other hand, because it seems like the other hand would probably be the hand you would hold it in, seeing how most folks are actually right-handed. Oops. Actually, I think this is the left hand. But anyhow, let's see if it'll work in this hand as well. It does. And yeah, that is the right hand. So this pistol will work with both hands with no issues. And then you can always put it back in its holster right here. That's a little bit of a tight fit. There it goes. So the pistol fits fine in the holster. No issues. Now we're going to pull this hand off. And we're going to try to go with the whole holding the ball piece here. All right, so you can have him hold the crystal ball. You may have to play with it for a while, because it looks like it's going to want to fall out of there eventually. Yep, there it goes. So he can do it. It's just going to probably just take some playing around and figuring out how to just get it to sit in there proper like. There you go. Nope. Still wants to twist its way out of there. We'll try one more time. Don't work this time. And oh well to the ball. So there it goes. And I think it's going to stay this time. So, as you can see, the crystal ball does work there. Now let's put the sword in this hand. All right, there you go. So the sword fits well in the other hand. No issues there. Let's remove the ball. Let's try the headpiece. Oh, that came off pretty damn easily. Okay. And then there's that. So that headpiece fits very well on him. No issues with that. And last but not least, his iconic shield. All right, so the shield is a clip-on. I think it's actually meant to go on the other side. I thought it would go on this side, but nah, looking how it's set up, it's going to go on this side. All right, so actually, what I'm going to do, push that up through there, like that. Get these around it. All right. So there you go. Whoops. As he falls over, he doesn't like his shield. So as you can see, the shield fits fine on this side. No issues. So overall, everything seems to work pretty well with this figure. So let's get into my final thoughts with him. So first off, let's talk about his joints. I didn't really have any real issues with any of his joints. The hip was a little bit tight, but for the most part, it seemed like all his joints worked fairly well. No issues there. As for his accessories, I didn't have any real problems with the accessories. The head swapped pretty easily. The hand swapped out. All the weapons and stuff fit pretty well, except for the crystal ball. I think that's my biggest pet peeve with this figure is the crystal ball. One, I feel like the skull inside of it could have used a little bit more detail to give it a little bit more pop, because for the most part, it just kind of looks like a green blob inside a crystal ball. So I would have liked to have seen them give it a little bit more detail. Plus, it's the only thing that doesn't fit right with them. So even though you can get it into the hand, you got to play around with it, you got to mess with it, and hopefully it stays in place where everything else swaps out very easily. No issues with any of the other accessories. As for the overall look to this guy, I love the overall look to him. I think he's a really, really, really cool looking figure. I like the attention to detail to him. Everything from the head sculpt to the tattoos to the different little nuances on him. I think he's a really well put together looking figure. So I love the overall look to him. As for issues with him, I pretty much said what I had issues with, which is mainly the crystal ball. Other than that, I don't have any other major issues with this figure. I think everything else looks pretty well. Probably the only other issue I have, and it's the same thing that I think everybody's been saying, is the translucent green stuff. I think we all agree that they should have put a glow in the dark feature to those. It would have made them look a lot cooler. It'd make a lot of it make a little bit more sense and make them neater. So that would be my only other issue with this figure. So at the end of the day, would I recommend him? Absolutely. I think he's a great looking figure. I love all I love all his accessories. I think everything works well with him. Like I said, I wasn't a big fan of the original one, but this version I do love. I love this version of him. So with that being said, I hope you guys did like this review. If you did, go ahead and check out my G.I. Joe playlist and hit that like, share, and subscribe. They're all small clicks for you, but it really helps this channel grow. So until the next one, late.